have a lot of comments to make. We read all those comments already, but just not yet because the videos aren't out yet while we're recording this. But after we're recording this, we will read the comments. And we agree with your comments. That's the thing. And we have comments of our own. And we want to make a few comments here about the entire bracket that we just went down. All past episodes of the season 1 of Bracket Breakdown, we've been discussing Smash Bros. Characters. Some characters didn't even get in that we want to talk about. We want to talk about some matches that we've done. We want to talk about some votes that we cast, some questionable things. And we're just going to let it all out. We're just going to get it out off our chests. And to help us get it off our chests, we got Pat the Net.
Oh, we do.
And then also next to him in the same building, you'll be shocked to find D-Bird.
Hello.
Yeah, don't tell them the same building thing though.
What's that?
We don't want them to know.
No,
Yeah.
yeah.
I don't want to be associated with this guy, you know.
Let's pan away from Daniel here. Let's go over to Trent.
Yo.
Oh my gosh, Trent.
It's
that
your
is
boy.
so frightening.
And now our subscribers know how many teeth Trent has.
Nightmare.
We have Pandemonians.
Hello.
I feel like I went into this thinking I'd learn a lot more about Smash Brothers, but I say I learned a lot more about each other.
We should be on the bracket next time.
I know.
Going into this, I don't know. It went, because I kind of was inspired by the way, for those who don't know, this is gravely inspired by Madness by Forrest Lee on the Normal Boots channel. So going into, I kind of knew the format enough to be like, I have a feeling this is what I'm going to talk about, because, we ultimately always talk about things that are important to us. Clearly, as you guys saw through the series, one thing that's really important to me is game representation and stuff like that. Friendship's secondary to game representation, but friendship's up there too.
Yeah.
So I think what I didn't expect was it was interesting just seeing everybody's different styles at explaining what was important to them. I noticed every time Trent would say something, Trent would have a sentence, or a tangent that would have just so many nuggets in it, and I would resist the urge to not jump off at every nugget because it's there's so much here to unpack.
Yeah.
But you could tell that it's that ultimately makes his overall view. You can see the steps towards his leaning very clearly.
He's a 12-count nugget combo.
Yeah.
That's one way of putting it. Yeah.
So yeah, I don't know. I know this format pretty well, so most of it I pretty much expected.
That's interesting because I feel like Trent was a nugget combo, but you were more of a bigger nugget. You were more of a tender combo.
I had
it wasn't as many, but it was they were big nuggets to unpack.
Big Mac.
Yeah.
Trent was the chicken nuggets. Pat was the crispy chicken sandwich.
I am
Buttermilk
completely
crispy
lost.
chicken sandwich.
And Panda was the drink.
Panda was at In-N-Out. So.
Panda was the McDonald's Sprite.
What is happening right now?
What's also I didn't realize these would be the characters on the bracket originally, but if you were to say which characters should be there, most of these characters I'd be okay with, but there still wasn't a horse. I never had a horse that I was trying to take to the top, which was kind of interesting. Some of you guys definitely had your horses, right?
Well,
my horse won.
Yeah, Panda won this bracket.
Well, I feel like we all went into it kind of knowing that Falcon would win. At least me.
I definitely had a feeling Captain.
I saw
make it.
We randomized the bracket before we recorded episode 1, actually a couple minutes before we recorded episode 1. So we didn't know who was going to face off against who. But I looked at the character list and I'm like, all right, okay, so we all pretending that the Falcon's not going to win or something? I feel
like the only person I would have voted over Captain Falcon from the get-go at least was Mario.
Yeah, that's fair.
Because I hold a lot of attachment to Mario. And it's funny, I kind of assumed, I guess, that a lot of people had as much fun with Mario as Daniel and I did.
Well, yeah,
and that's why I guess I felt like I should do devil's advocate, which I still feel like is what gravely helped the decision of the second runner-up.
I
feel
like you presented an argument for Steve, which is why I casted my vote, which was, for the argument. But if I had cast a vote normally, I still would have voted for Steve because that argument about, or the point that
he can have an opinion now,
brought
right?
up about
he's allowed to have his opinion rights are given back.
When it was brought up about who's fun to play as, when I said that I rarely have fun playing Mario, that wasn't true. That was, it is kind of Mario's white bread. That's how I'd like to see it.
I think that's what shocked me though, was because I've never seen Mario as a basic character.
So you can think of Mario as white bread, but then you can also realize that white bread is also sourdough, French bread, a bunch of other really good
Or imagine a
breads.
world where there is no white bread.
Or
you know?
imagine white bread.
But it's like I think I was making too many assumptions going into Mario, and that's why I didn't defend it as hard. Because I was like, obviously Mario is represented, and he should be represented because he's such a popular or such a impactful character on the entire video game industry that I couldn't even really use that as a point because we all know it, And I was feeling a lot of that going in. I was like, we're all pretty much on the same page here, so let's give some attention to Steve. I wasn't quite aware just how much amount of not fun people were having with Mario.
And let's make this clear:
I
Steve is a good character.
I think I made that.
Yeah.
Well,
Steve is like
He
A
didn't
tier, maybe.
belong in.
It's just
I wasn't talking about like tier list. I'm just saying like a character. Steve is
He's
good.
okay. But like all Smash characters are okay if you play them right,
Right. I think like the big thing is one thing that happened with pretty much all of us in the bracket is that a lot of times it came down to like unless both characters were fun or both characters were not fun, a lot of times it came down to whether or not we had fun with that character. And Steve was just one of those characters for me. It's like I just don't have a lot of fun with him. I definitely tried him out. I gave him a good shot. Daniel can vouch for that I like really gave him a good shot. And now I just like I don't want to play as him or fight against him.
Here's the thing I think about Steve is he's way better than most of the new characters that come out. Like, I feel like most of the new people that come out, I'm like, wow, that was so underwhelming. But Steve, it's like, okay, the only new character that I actually played for than more... Actually, like, the other ones I just played for like 2 rounds. I'm like, all right, I'm good.
The only character... I was just going to say the only character I played more than Steve with regards to DLC is Banjo.
Right. Well, Piranha Plant's pretty cool too, but
Mewtwo is one of the Mewtwo.
Well, that's
Mewtwo,
Smash 4 DLC. I think Daniel's referring to specifically Ultimate
also
DLC.
Mewtwo is in...
Because Smash 4
Mewtwo's
DLC had a
also in
lot
Melee.
of good ones. Smash 4 had a lot of really good
And in
DLC.
Melee.
Yeah. Ryu is a good Smash 4 DLC.
I will say I think it's kind of interesting that in Minecraft, like when I first played Minecraft, because I was one of those people who like played it in like 2011 when it kind of first came out, and there wasn't much about it. There wasn't much on it, so you had to like look it up on the internet or you had to discover it yourself. And I feel like they almost made that character like that in Smash Bros too, where there's so much packed into that character where for you to figure it out, you kind of have to look it up anyways.
That's like honestly, Trent, I wish you brought that point up against the Mario versus him because I would have liked Steve a little bit more. I think that's a really good point. Like it represents the sandbox style of Minecraft and the mystery
of discovery. Yeah. And I also would say
I
that
could go on and on about like how well they implemented Steve.
Yeah.
Very well.
I think that like I like music a lot, right? And Mario reminds me of pop music. There's nothing wrong with pop music. It's okay, but everybody likes it, and at the same time, it's kind of bland and it's not interesting. But when I think of great music, I don't really think of pop music because you can always have more pop music in the future. When I think of great music, I think of like great music, like
1920s swing jazz. Yeah.
No. Well, also
Yeah.
I think that like to make a great character, it has to be unique, and Captain Falcon is very unique. To Smash Bros at least, or to any other game, he's kind of his own essence.
I guess I still don't really understand what's not unique about Mario. I mean, I mean, most of his moves are different than every other character's.
He may be unique, as in like the first of his kind. However, he is very much so like the basis for many other things. As
you're saying, like recreated.
Like, yeah, since he's come out, which has been a long time now, he's been copied and like redone a million times. And even he is not.
Every character is a Mario clone.
Well, also like okay,
so
let's even just say
what they like about platformers off of how they felt about Mario. Like, even though he is the first, that doesn't. He's not unique anymore.
He also has Mario attached to him. He has the name Mario.
Well, that's gonna be true with any old thing.
Yeah.
When I think of
like,
when I think of Mario though, I think of like PSAs, and I think of like
well, you're trying
Mario
to make a point for your
Mario
uniqueness.
Tic Tacs. Yeah, like I think of Sellout almost. So even if he might be a good character, all I think of him as like this kind of person who's just a token. Like he has to be there because he's the face, Yep. Like a people pleaser.
I guess like just
that's kind of like
I have
what
to...
Kirby was though, and Kirby, like, yeah.
I guess I have to have some kind of value for something to be in the first, though. I can't remove the idea that just because it's no longer as special now, meaning it's not special in general. Like, I have to have some kind of historical context in my own, like, idea as to what makes something good, right? And that goes for games too. But we can't stay forever on specifically Mario versus Steve. Obviously, it happened.
I think it's funny. We're all immediately we started talking about those.
We needed to get it off our chest. There was
like,
something wrong with that match.
So
still
just
upset
like you
about
felt
that.
about Mario versus Steve is how I felt about Ganon versus Kirby. It's a crime what you people did to my boy. It's
Ladies
disgusting.
and gentlemen, we are so sorry about
I don't know.
You're right, though.
Kirby, I mean, Kirby needs to be represented more than Ganondorf. Ganondorf is just a one-note bad guy from a villain from a series that they keep reusing over and over again. He's not the idea of like something being special at one point. Yes, Ganondorf was special at one point, but Ganondorf's not special anymore. So it's like the same flip.
I think
same side of the flip.
that argument's kind of like, well,
Yeah.
it's gonna like.
I don't know. Kirby's still
It's an
special
aged
today.
comment, you know. It's gonna date itself, you know.
Well, and we should mention to everyone out there who's like, well, why didn't you guys talk about like, you know, only historic stuff or whatnot if you really care about Impact? We live in the year we live in, right? We're talking in the year we talk on. A couple years from now, maybe things change and we wouldn't have said any of the stuff we said, right? We can only do so much. We're subject to the time we live in.
Well, when
but-
we do season 2, it'll probably be like, oh, come on, Shrek made it in second place. Gosh darn it, you know.
Cross your fingers. There's no bracket with Shrek. I'm okay if Shrek enters Smash. He's not making the bracket.
What about
He's not
Shrek?
making-
Shrek
What about
would
season
win.
2 Shrek games?
It's gonna be like,
No.
oh man,
I would be fascinated by that. I've
It's-
played
it's
an alarming
Harambe
amount of
Bullshit.
Shrek games. I think that would be actually interesting. 'Cause they're all
Actually,
so
Guys, I
bad.
think it might be time for me to retire from Bracket Breakdown. It's been a good
Yeah.
run.
So
Wait, you're
to
getting brought back?
derail the.
This is actually a social experiment, by the way. It's
the
really
camera's
just
right
to
there.
see.
Guys, the camera.
There's a camera there, a camera there, a camera there.
So the character who was closest to make it, who didn't make it, was, if I remember correctly, Cloud. Actually, Cloud was very close to making it in, and I would have loved to talk about Cloud. Cloud would have probably acted as my horse because it's actually someone I main, and also he
I'm
represents.
surprised.
I wouldn't put him past Captain Falcon, but
Okay. So you try to ride him up to second.
Cloud is one of the only characters that I could see, like, arguably better than Captain Falcon. Like, if people came up with
Right.
arguments because they like Cloud, I could see
Yeah.
it.
yeah.
It's like one of the only characters past
And
Captain Falcon in that regard.
Representation-wise, like Cloud was what opened the floodgates for impossible third-party characters. You know?
I would say that
Final
No,
was
that
Fantasy
was Snake.
editions.
That was
Sonic or
absolutely
Snake.
Snake.
Well, Snake broke it for third-party characters in general, right? And Snake, obviously, yes, Snake was unexpected as all get out. But once third parties were already established and Snake was removed at the time of that game, once Cloud came out, it was like, okay, they can add any third-party character they want now, right? Because Snake wasn't in 4, is what we have to keep in mind. You know, they literally removed him because it's hard to get the licensing for it. But that said, yeah, you know, I just think there's a lot of interesting things to talk about Cloud. Now we have Sephiroth. Sephiroth obviously would have never happened if Cloud never happened, but neither should he if Sephiroth was, or Cloud wasn't there.
I'm trying to think of ones that I wanted. I mean, like in general, I wanted a Pokemon trainer to really make it up there because I thought it was interesting.
You mean We Fit Train?
No. Oh, that actually we could let's talk about just briefly the worst characters in Smash Bros.
Oh, yeah.
Yoshi.
Being those
Whoa,
trainer
wow.
dudes. What are those
Oh,
trainer dudes?
Mii Fighters.
The Mii Fighters.
Okay, yeah, Mii Fighters are the worst.
I'm sorry, Ben. I know
There
Ben
is a
really likes Mii
specific
Fighters.
Mii Fighter that is the worst character in Smash, but as a general character, Mii Fighter does not deserve the flack that it gets.
That's true. I forgot. Panda did put Mii Fighter on the list.
I feel like
But-
Luigi would be a very underwhelming character to throw on the list.
Yeah,
If Mii Fighter-
Luigi's definition of underwhelming.
If Mii Fighter got on the list, he would have been my horse. Like, I absolutely would have been like, all right, y'all need to take your biases.
And then also, not only are we gonna have to censor that, but also I'm surprised that like, Link. I haven't heard his name yet.
Yeah.
No, that's I
Not that
completely
I,
forgot.
Not that I like Link.
Link would have been my horse to victory. Link would have been the person I probably voted over
Link,
Captain
yeah.
Falcon. He just had a slip up in Ultimate, but that's it. You know, like regular Smash, Melee, Brawl,
'cause he looks
4,
ridiculous.
3DS, all those games, so much fun to play. In Ultimate, they changed it up so much that people were like, well, now let's just go to Young Link. And obviously, Young Link's more fun to play now, for me at least. But even then, like, what Link represents and stuff like that, like, I would have so much to talk about with Link specifically. That I'm shocked. I'm shocked that Steve is on the bracket and that Link isn't. That's what I'm shocked about.
That's true.
Because I feel like you guys could all
Y'all
agree.
love jokes.
Link's got to be at least close with regards to just importance to Smash in the bracket. If the bracket was entirely important to Smash and not necessarily best character, Link would have to be.
That's season
like,
2,
up
the
there.
importance to Smash.
Well, for
I
me,
actually-
importance it does play a lot.
For
into this.
for me, Link would have beat
Trent and I
would've
both
beat
voted Link.
Steve.
We both wanted Link.
yeah.
Yeah. Well, of
For
course,
sure.
Link would have beaten
I know,
Steve.
I know. It's but we have to consider that.
Of course, Mario would have beaten Steve. Who
Yeah,
wouldn't?
exactly,
Yeah,
exactly.
yeah. No, and that's the thing. Like, we had a lot of discussions this series where people flipped. You know, like sometimes I was going in definitely thinking one way, and then just people start bringing up nostalgia and the points. And I think that's why I really like the format. This is not me tooting my own horn because it's not even my format. But the reason I like this format of the show is because it's so much just about the discussion that we have. That like. Biases are oftentimes crushed. People end up going directions they didn't expect, and I think that's what's really enjoyable. And you get the opportunity to compare things like how fun they are to play to what games they represent and stuff, and what their Subspace Emissary character arc is, right? You get to pull up other things that you wouldn't normally discuss, and that's what's kind of special about the format, you know. And I don't remember why I said that. Link should have been on the list. Yeah.
Basically, you were saying how we like to plagiarize on this channel.
For the record, I actually talked to the guy who ran it and stuff, and he gave me all encouragement to continue with it.
Oh, okay.
Because it's looking like there won't be another season of that for a while. So this is kind of a spiritual
Yeah, we're actually
successor.
going to post
The
it
spiritual
on that
successor.
channel. Link
Yeah.
in the description.
We're the Finland to the Roman
No,
Empire.
I'll do that. Yeah, check out the Normal Boots link in the description for a little bit higher produced, a lot higher produced version.
That
of
link will
this.
be right underneath my channel.
Anyway, this has gone on for a little bit, so I don't know if anyone has any like closing stuff they want.
Well,
to say.
I think we should just head out one by one, and I'll start by saying it's been a great series. I appreciate each of you for having me on. I feel like I should let the other person who was supposed to be in my spot, I should let him back. I locked him out.
You locked him out months ago. I wonder if it's
Yeah.
okay in
Yeah, I
the
know.
closet.
So this will be my goodbye. It's been a fun series. I'm just gonna kind of slip out of frame. Bye, y'all.
He's been itching to get out of the series for a long time. He asked me if I could just boot him out and replace him. I said yes. That's why he locked the guy up. Anyway, yeah, no. Thanks so much for watching, guys. And then, of course, thanks to our panelists for joining us. And, of course, our host, Spotters, for hosting us. And make sure you guys tune in to future seasons. Hopefully there will be more. Please let me know if you want more. It'd be a darn shame to make a bunch of stuff that nobody wants, right? This whole season was recorded, and I'm in the back of my mind, I'm like, I don't even know if people want this. Like, it's kind of a weird feeling. So just
I've been
let us
talking
know.
about recording this series. Obviously, not giving away information, but I've been talking about recording it to a few friends, and they all sound very interested. So I mean,
so let's cross our
it is a
fingers.
cool
It
concept,
is.
and I'm appreciative of you, like, you know, going through the effort to make it.
Yeah, absolutely. This is a lot of fun to talk about and be able to, do this in this kind of format.
This happens to be my cue to leave as well, and I'll let the other person
Yeah,
out
yeah.
of my locked up dungeon. So they'll be back here next episode.
We'll see you guys in the next
Bye-bye.
bracket breakdown.